1960s and 70s, St. Johns County was a relatively small county, and it was very rural. By the 1980s and 90s, we were beginning to urbanize very rapidly, and our population was rising, one of the fastest growing counties in the nation. So we had a very rural approach to road maintenance and operation, and a very rapidly urbanizing county. So we started thinking about what it is we needed to do and looking at options. After a couple of years here, I was able to engage the services of a consultant that specialized in making maintenance operations more efficient and effective. That was Harry Lorick of LA Associates. Mr. Lorick went through and analyzed our organization, compared it to other organizations of similar size to form a baseline, and made a series of recommendations about how we could become more efficient and effective. And one of those recommendations was that we have a computerized maintenance management system.
St. Johns County Public Works wanted to come up with a computerized maintenance management system, and as well as asset management system. So the idea was to come up with a system that's GIS-centric, and Cityworks basically was the only one that had that capabilities without having any third-party or type application running to communicate with a GIS.
Before Cityworks, we did everything by paper. We usually took calls, the front office took calls from the public, and then they would give us they would write it out on paper, and then we would duplicate that and fill out the work order on paper, and took a long time.
Public Works Division of Road and Bridge, they're probably one of the heavy user of Cityworks. They were the first one to basically start using it back in 2006. They use it from basically call taking. They use the service request part to actually take the call. Right now they are using the Cityworks Anywhere to get that, to record that call, and eventually we'll move them into Cityworks server. It could be a call from a simple pothole, and then they'll record that information. The Cityworks itself is so flexible, and it works well with a GIS that they can basically geocode the address and automatically say, for that particular work, it'll automatically identify which zone that it belongs to. Our sign shop division uses Cityworks for collecting sign. The sign shop uses a device to actually check the reflection of all the signs, especially around the collector roads. So they'll actually collect data, and we came up with a way to actually attach those data back to the GIS as well.
So Cityworks has really helped us in developing going from actually reactive to mostly proactive. We do all our scheduling off of Cityworks. We do a 2-week schedule. Some of the supervisors even go out a month ahead of time. They'll schedule their work a month ahead of time and input the projected start dates, and it really helps us out with scheduling our work.
So the supervisor will basically schedule the work and pre-plan a work order within a zone or an area of that zone, which we call a subzone, and do their general work within that area. So they could basically focus on doing pothole patching and shoulder maintenance in one day within that area, and then prior to them moving to another zone, they'll go ahead and do some other work, preventive work, such as tree trimming, to any kind of like ditch type work or any culvert type work that they're going to do before they move on to the next general subzone. So they'll do that, and then that's kind of the main idea of doing proactive type work instead of them reacting to a call right away. You know, breaking down their setup and then maybe going to the pit and grabbing materials to respond to a call. If it's not urgent, they'll go ahead and schedule for the next week.
On a weekly basis, we go visit our pump stations and record our time clock readings. We use the time clock readings to compare with the last week's readings to know whether you have problems with the pumps. And if you do, if the time clocks aren't matching up to last week's readings, we do a work order to go out and troubleshoot the pump to see if there's anything wrong with the pump.
So it has gone on budgetary. It's been very helpful with budgetary. We always kind of estimated what we spent yearly on these pump stations. We've been able to track the operating costs as far as power consumption and been able to reduce these power consumptions, seeing what we've been actually doing. So it has been a big helpful tool in that instance right there for that reason.
Like most local governments, we've experienced a significant decline in available revenue. So now we're able to use the same data produced by Cityworks, Micropaver, to analyze what our highest priorities are and what we can use our available resources most efficiently to accomplish.